I started playing volleyball because my ate, she was kind of my idol growing up. So I wanted to, do everything she wanted to do. So she started playing volleyball so middle school. So of course, as the younger sister, I wanted to be like her. So I joined it, and then I found my love for the sport. I just found the game so exciting because you never know what's gonna happen next, and it always keeps you on your toes. So yeah, that's how I kind of got started. Really a choice talaga. Kasi growing up in Canada and playing the sport there, I'm short. So everyone there is either 5'10" or taller. So as much as I wanted to be an outside hitter or maybe a setter, I had to adapt if I wanted to keep playing. But before that, I was an outside hitter and a setter, which helped me in the long run of being a libero. But yeah, that's kind of how I got funneled into it because I still wanted to play outside, but they said, you're too short. So that's how I became a libero. So yeah. Recruited in Canada. There's two levels of volleyball in Canada. So there's USPORT, which is the collegiate. I think it's equivalent in the Philippines to UAP. And then there's NCAA, which is, ours is called ACAC, but it's like divided into provinces. So the different colleges per province. So I had some college schools interested in me, but I really had to, reach out and market myself, I guess, in a sense, to the higher universities. For my first year, actually, of university, I came onto the team as a redshirt, so I wasn't supposed to have any playing time. I didn't technically have a position on the team. I wasn't supposed to get any scholarship money. But after the preseason, the coach, he offered those things to me. So that was a really happy turn of events. So that's how I got into my school. Probably one of the best experiences I ever could have asked for. It was always my goal. I know that when I started playing in middle school, I was like, this is just for fun. But then when I started to really put a lot of effort into going to training camps or doing extra work to get better at volleyball, I knew, in my heart, I really want to play at USPORT. I want to play at the highest level in Canada. And for me, it's always been a goal after that to play pro and maybe hopefully one day, you never know, with national team if ever that opportunity opened. So playing in USPORT is definitely a major milestone that I knew I wanted to achieve before I could even move on to achieving my next dreams of playing professionally. It was a great experience because I still see some of the people that I played against or with, they're still playing internationally, professionally. So, and are even in the national teams or world championships or Olympics. So it's a really great experience. During pandemic, I was in my last 2 years of eligibility for university volleyball. But because of pandemic, syempre, I couldn't finish. I had to I kind of had to accept the idea of going into retirement, which was really, really sad. And so I kind of was like, okay, so I'm a little lost. What am I going to do? So I started pursuing maybe I want to do dentistry, or maybe I want to go back and get my master's for psychology or something. But then after I graduated, I was like, I still want to play. And even though it was still somewhat in pandemic, still 2022, my mom heard about this team, Akari. They had a post on Facebook about an open tryout. So I had an agent at the time, and we asked him if he could somehow funnel us into this system. So he's able to connect us with one of the managers from the team, and then from there on, it was a gamble. Kasi syempre, it's not cheap naman to travel to the Philippines from abroad, and also I don't have any connections here. I don't know anybody. It's a different volleyball environment. So coming here to the PBL was a gamble because there was nothing guaranteed talaga. But the Lord, He opened the door, and He's led me through it so far. So I'm happy naman, and that's kind of how I just got started. To be a student athlete in Canada. I mean, I've heard from my teammates here who played sa UAP or NCAA, I thought my time as a student athlete was really hard. But comparing it to how much effort they put in now into training, because I know some days, a lot of them, they train twice a day here from 5 a.m. and then till 10 p.m. at night. So I I know it's hard here then. And I think for me, it was difficult then, but I think I had a lot of good seniors who led me to develop a lot of good habits. Mental health wise, it was really hard talaga. Finding a balance between, oh, I need to do perfectly on the court, but I also need to do perfectly in the classroom. But I also still want to have other areas in my life, like friends and family that I want to feed into. And I think in my first couple of years, I really struggled trying to find a balance. But I had a lot of good people who supported me along the way, my family and my friends, and I really grew my relationship with God and Jesus during that time, and that really helped me, I guess, develop a stronger sense of discipline and hard work and good work ethic and character. So yeah, I mean, it was difficult, but I think if you compare it to other people, I think I did get I had a lot of support, so it made it easier. Still under the same company, but I had a lot of people that I came into Akari with who are with me in Nxled, so the transition was smooth in a sense of like I was comfortable, like I wasn't starting fresh with a completely different group of people. So I was able to really build a strong connection with those girls who I started with in Akari. But I'm sure if anybody, or if you have seen a lot of the changes that our team has gone through with like the coaching and just like as a whole, we've gone through a lot of ups and downs trying to figure out our identity and our system as a team. So I think the biggest difference really was, I mean, if I'm comparing it now, sorry, my phone's not. More of my growth years and really just trying to adjust to the Filipino volleyball environment and culture. Because it's a different speed, it's a different, energy. It definitely is different from the kind of volleyball that I was used to back home in Canada. But I think my first years in Akari, that was really my adjustment period. And being on Nxled now, I've been really able to kind of calm down and figure out who I am as a teammate and even like as a leader now that I'm one of the, I guess, first players and one of the actives now on the team. So I was able to really find my voice in a sense and establish myself. So those are like the main differences for me. Originally talaga, I wanted jersey number 3, but it just has not worked out since I've been here sa Pinas, like to get number 3. So I'm praying one day, maybe, who knows, it'll free up. But number 5, I know some of the greatest volleyball players that I've looked up to, like, Brenda Castillo or Morgan Hens or other players. They've been number 5 in the past. So, I mean, it never hurts to be the same number as some of your items. I mean, as a younger team, it feels like every team, especially because you see all these teams, everyone's improving every conference talaga. So every conference, everybody is becoming a tougher competitor. So, I mean, for me so far, when I think back to some of the toughest games we've ever played, I know that PLDT has a lot of strong players and Petrogas. I think they have a lot of good, strong players on their teams. But I think every team has challenged us mentally and physically talaga. So, and I think that's the beauty of the sport and it's the beauty of professional sport because nobody is so far from the other. Anyone can win the game, and I think that's the beauty of it, that everyone's a difficult opponent, and you never know because someday the top team might be having a bad day and the lowest team might be having a great day. So anything could swing in your favor talaga. So it's really about, I guess, mentally preparing yourself that everyone is going to be the same. And our coach always says, don't put any team on a pedestal and don't put yourselves on a pedestal. We're all ganyan. Like, we're all even. So, yeah. Let me think. I've learned a lot from a lot of different people talaga. I think a really good question. I've thought about it a lot. I actually think I've learned a lot from from my very first season. I learned a lot from Mama Priscilla Rivera, when she was our import from the Reinforced Conference. She really just taught me like, oh, like, it's about a fire within you that you can play. It's not always just about skill or talent, or I guess knowing the game. It's about having that passion within you. But I think overall, I'm learning something from everyone every single day. And from the outside hitters, the middle hitters, to my liberos that I play with on the team as well. They challenge me to be better, and I've had teammates in the past who challenged me to be tougher mentally and I guess emotionally because it's a tough sport, and it's tough being in team sports. So you have to really find your resolve to be strong as an individual so that you can also be strong for your teammates. So, I mean, I think all of my teammates have taught me that. I don't think it's ever been one sit-down lesson talaga with one person, but yeah, everyone who has passed through my life so far during my career here has taught me a lot. Maybe like I mentioned earlier, during pandemic, after my college career came to an end, I thought about maybe doing dentistry because my mom, she worked in a dental office all her life, so I was always there. And I even actually assisted once doing on like a missions trip with my school. I helped one of the dentists, so I was observing him, I was handing him tools, cleaning stuff up, and parang I was like, oh, this is a very interesting job. Like, and my cousin and my tita, they're also dentists, so that also struck my fancy, I guess. Like, oh, maybe I should do dentistry. But then I also thought about, oh, maybe I should become a psychologist, or maybe I want to be a lawyer. The beauty of having a degree in Canada is, as long as you have good grades, and you have the prerequisites, you can apply to a lot of different after degrees. But recently, if we're getting more recent, I was thinking maybe I should start a farm in the future. Maybe I want to be a farmer. Have a flower garden. And some chickens. Who knows what? I mean, the future is our oyster. You know, it's funny kasi I don't do well with bugs talaga. And I don't do well with being like mainit and sweaty and like, but parang it seems very peaceful. And after living in a city life like in Manila, kasi growing up in Canada, my city, it's kind of more it's a small town, not super small town, but it's more suburban. And now I've got to live in like a very metropolitan area like the Philippines, where everything's busy, there's lots of people. And parang I think it'd be nice to try out, the quiet like farmer life where it's peaceful and you don't hear the sounds of trucks or beeping, or you can just hear crickets. Parang sarap yan sa brain. I think it really is the pace of the game. If we're looking at the physical aspects, the pace of the game for me is a lot quicker in the Philippines from what I had experienced back home. Syempre, like, you have taller blockers, maybe sa ibang bansa, but I mean, the players here are tall too, so I think the Philippines is definitely, just as tough. It's just a different pace talaga. And I think if we're looking from it at the Philippines and in Canada, the difference is the energy. Especially when you see, kasi back home when we would have our university games, like, we would have some good turnouts to games, but we wouldn't be filling arenas like MOA. And for even just regular season games, MOA is full for just a preliminary round for the UAP. So I think especially just the energy here is it's really different talaga. But I think it also helps, like, it really helps the players like develop a good sense of self, and maybe it gives them confidence, like having that like support from fans or support from like other alumni. So yeah, I think that for me that's one of the biggest differences that I realized. But yeah, I think it really is mostly pace of the game for me. many. But I think one of the best players I'd ever seen is can I do half of two people? Joke lang. Sige. Well, I mean, the first person that I ever looked up to volleyball-wise was the USA libero, Nicole Davis. I remember, because when I look back on, like, when I really started to, when I felt the dream of becoming a professional volleyball player and, like, the grand, like, dream that it could have become, when I really thought about it, it was back in 2012 during the London Olympics. I was just so focused on the volleyball there, and I was watching the US team play, and their libero was just so amazing to me, and she was just so strong and her aura was very just confident and very self-assured, and she was really leading the team, and I was like, oh, that's how I want to be when I'm older. That's the kind of player I want to be. So that really lit the fire in my heart to become a professional volleyball player one day. But my current one, I mean, I still love her. I love all of the people that I look up. Brenda Castillo from the Dominican Republic. She's played in Italy and all over the world. Super galing talaga siya. Like, so talented. And she is a woman of faith as well. And so I think that's also a part where I really look up to her as well. She's very vocal about her relationship with God. And that's how I also want to be as well. So yeah, she's one of my top inspirations volleyball-wise.
Thank you for watching.